this out and retweet it. Yeah, this time change could just go die.
And it'll get even worse in December.
Dude, Sunday, I don't know what it was, but I just passed straight out. It was like 5 o'clock. I didn't wake up till like 7:30. I was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, it's gotten to where like every time I eat dinner now, like I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's me all the time.
Let's see. Go to Facebook. We'll be reviewing Sonic R for the Sega Saturn.
Usually I'm wide awake right now, but ugh.
Yeah, I should have had some coffee before. But I've kind of lost track of time today. Let me retweet this real quick.
Next week is 250.
250.
250. I have no idea what I'm gonna review.
Um, what's a notable game that hasn't been reviewed yet?
I don't know. I was thinking about. Well, I mean, I still got to get back on Kingdom Hearts for the PS2. I got to get
Yeah,
back on that.
can always review Final Fantasy.
No. No. No.
Uh, no, no, no,
No.
no Final Fantasy.
You haven't started playing Metroid Dread yet, have you?
I have not, but I can start.
Yeah, because I doubt we'd even if you play better than me, I doubt we'd both be done by next week. Because honestly, I've kind of thrown in the towel a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet. I've been playing through Skyward Sword and I'm almost at the final dungeon. So I was hoping to try and beat it maybe by the end of the weekend. I probably won't review it on the show anytime soon just because it's still a new-ish game,
Yeah. Well, I say we
but
save
eventually.
Metroid Dread till after you've had it for a while.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'm giving it a few days rest and come back to it fresh. Because I was trying to play it. Was it yesterday or the night before? Might have been last night. I was trying to play it and literally my hand was cramping. Like I
Oh,
couldn't do anything
geez.
because my freaking thumb, like this muscle right through here, was all cramped up, and I was like, I can't play anymore. Because there's like, dude, wait till you play it. It's ridiculous the buttons you have to hit to do certain things. It's beyond ridiculous.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's
But
great.
but I really am. Like I know that might be frustrating as far as like cramping up your hands and everything, but that's classic Nintendo hard for you.
Yeah, of course. And they don't give you a difficulty setting either. It's just here. This is what it is, bitch. Good luck.
It's
Like,
insanely hard.
thanks, Nintendo.
We should make that a hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag thanks, Nintendo. We got. I want to point out on the show too why I've been getting picked on lately.
Did you see the GIF I posted on Wally's thread?
Which one? the
The one he mentioned something about the the Switch OLED model, and then he put as a separate tweet that it was in no way a dig at you.
yeah.
So then people started commenting on how you get picked on, and I just I put the GIF of the guy leaning back in the chair just eating the
Yeah.
popcorn.
Of course.
But yeah, we'll be sure to bring that up.
All right. Well, I got all my tabs up. Everything's good to go. Let me make sure this is turned up. Oop, I'm glad I looked at that because that was all the way down.
Okay, had to plug my laptop back in.
All right. I'm good to go.
Yep, I'm set too.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Greetings, programs. We are back for another edition of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins.
And my name is Derek Diamond.
So how has your week been?
Not too bad. It's been relatively chill. It's my first full week of not being with the Blue Wahoos anymore. So had a couple of chill days. Funny enough, today I didn't sit down and like dedicate my full attention to them, but I watched through because I was up early this morning. I watched through the first 3 original Batman movies,
Oh,
the 2
nice.
Michael Keaton ones plus Batman Forever. We're not going to talk about the one that happened after that, but Batman Forever I think is a little underrated.
Dude, I love that
I'm not going to
movie.
lie.
I don't care what anybody says about it. That's a good movie.
Well, it's the first Batman movie that like I have really vivid memory of watching. Like I remember watching the Tim Burton Batmans as a kid, but I didn't really grow up with those because I was only like 3 years old when the original came out.
Yeah.
But Batman Forever was 95, so I was 9 years old. So I had, like Jim Carrey as the Riddler when he was untouchable.
Yeah.
At that time. Like to me, it was the perfect balance of the campiness and the seriousness.
Yeah. And a great soundtrack too. If you don't like that soundtrack, something is wrong with you.
So something that I did on my last day with the Wahoos, I've been making this like a tradition of mine after like 2017 or 2018. After every game, like we have a playlist of, like songs we'll play if the Wahoos win, songs we play if they lose. I would always make it a point, regardless, before we shut everything down for the night, I would play Seal's Kiss from a Rose. It got to the point where our groundskeeper actually asked, like, hey, why do you play that Seal song after it? I said, why not? It's a great song.
It's freaking awesome.
So whenever I left on Friday, after I packed everything up, walked over to the sound computer, played it through the stadium one last time, and walked out.
Hell yeah.
It's such a good song.
I know.
Worst music video of all time.
Yeah.
Because it's literally him singing in front of the bat signal with footage from the movie spliced in.
But still, when that movie was fresh, it was like, oh, this video's great. The movie's great.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Now it's like, it's kind of cringeworthy, but the song's still good.
Yeah. But no, Batman Forever's a good movie. But that's been about the highlight of my week. What about you?
I've been getting picked on on Twitter. So we had a discussion when we were recording the Ghostbusters Roundtable for the Derek Diamond Experience. Why is it that Derek could literally come on this show and say, I tithe 10% of my salary to Nintendo every year or every month, and nobody would say anything. It would just be totally fine. Me, I say one thing, like, man, I wish Nintendo would, put some more NES games out, and I get dogpiled on Twitter. Like, what is happening? Why?
If someone asked me about tithing in part of my salary to Nintendo, I would just simply say, I'm just here so I won't get fined. But it is interesting. And yeah, I brought that up because it got to the point where I actually hit the record button early because I'm like, this shit's too good to not record. Maybe I'll throw it in as like a post credit, or I can send you the audio and we can put it on, at maybe the end of episode 250.
And even when Wally claims that that his tweet wasn't aimed at me, it was aimed squarely at me. But
the rest of the discussion became about you getting crapped on.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get why I get dumped on all the time.
Because I was the one who brought it up. Like I've it's been in the back of my mind for a while, and then Wally brought that up before we started recording Ghostbusters, and I'm like, Well, let me just ask the panelists while we're here. Why is it that like I pretty much agree with all your viewpoints,
You
yet
never get anything.
yeah, now
Everybody
that I've
completely respects you. I'm just the idiot clown everybody likes to dunk on every time I get a prediction wrong or or something.
but now that I say that, then the hate will come my way.
Well, I doubt it. Everybody loves you. You're the
Nah,
favorite.
I don't know about that, but
No
no,
matter what
it
I
is
say,
interesting though.
no matter what I say, I'm gonna get hate.
I'm gonna post on Twitter. Nintendo's going to release a new Earthbound by the end of the year, and see what
And
happens.
people will be like, "Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it's a good call there."
No, I seriously doubt that. But it
Uh,
is interesting though. I think if people didn't care, they wouldn't pick on you. They do it out of love.
Probably, yeah, probably. Cause I don't know, I'm an easy target, so because I say stupid things and make dumb predictions. But
No, but at
that's
least
my
you make
thing.
predictions. You have an opinion though.
That's my
That's
thing.
the important thing.
Like I don't know why it surprises anybody by now. We're at 250 episodes and I've been right like once about it. I can't even remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure I was right about at least one thing.
But they keep coming back to
Yeah,
listen.
they keep coming back. You're the ones that are listening. You're the ones that are, getting us the advertising dollars. So thank you.
Exactly. So there we go.
But I haven't really done anything else this week. Not much. Just played some Metroid Dread. Got frustrated. Got a cramp in my thumb. Stopped playing. So I'm giving it a rest for a few days. So I'm not sure when I'm going to
Yeah.
jump back in.
One other thing I forgot to mention last night, I actually recorded a really fun discussion with the guys over at the Fantastic People podcast.
I saw that.
I discussed the Zelda series.
Awesome. When does
So
that
how
come
I
out?
was, it'll be in December
Okay.
because it's also going to be a tie-in to promote my new show. But it was really fun to kind of go back into my mind and remember like the first time I ever played Zelda, and they asked really good questions about not so much the series itself, but why you enjoy, like it could be Zelda, it could be anything.
Yeah, they have a really good show. If you haven't listened to it, go check out Fantastic People podcast. It's awesome.
Yep. So I'll be appearing on that show. The episode will drop sometime in December, and then I don't know what the discussion is going to be yet, but they're going to come on feature presentation in January for a discussion on a topic to be determined.
Yeah, Reagan and Reagan Bell, one of the hosts over there at Fantastic People, and Mike Evelyn from B-Res Coffee are going to be on this show sometime in December. I got to get with those guys and find out what Wednesday night they're free in December, because we're going to do a roundtable / review of Knights of the Old Republic for the one that was on the Xbox, the original Xbox. But I'm going to download they're reissuing it on the Switch here. What's today? The 10th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually it comes out tomorrow on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm excited to play that game again. It's been a long time since I played some KOTOR. Both those games are really good.
Yeah, I have part 2 on Steam, and it's been a while since I've played it, but I really want to get back and play the original. So that's going to be fun to go back and play that.
Yeah, for sure.
But we got some news to get to. You ready to do that?
Let's do it.
Of course, all of today's stories were submitted by you, the listener. Today's stories were submitted by Armez Jackson, and I am the Rampage. And if you have a story you'd like us to cover, send them to nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. This first one comes from, let me pull it up here, from our favorite site, nintendolife.com. The Game & Watch, The Legend of Zelda, will let you enjoy both Japanese and Western versions. It's been right there on the official site for Game & Watch Legends of Zelda. A few of us on the Nintendo Life team hadn't clocked the fact that the nifty little device will give us access to multiple versions of each game. In terms of the 3 mainline games, The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Adventure of Link, and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, you'll have to access you'll have access to both your localized version and the Japanese original. You can pre-order the Game and Watch. It's in Japanese. I can't read it. Go to @ZeldaOfficialJP on Twitter. It says where to pre-order it, but hold on. Let me click this. Where to pre-order it?
I see it in the UK.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Pretty
I
sure.
mean, it's about to come out. Like it comes out in 2 days.
Yeah. So
Let's see.
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the article.
Okay.
So if you click where to pre-order Game and Watch, scroll down to the very bottom and you'll see it in the US.
You can pick it up on the My Nintendo store and also at Amazon.com.
Yep. So I do want to get one of these. If pre-orders are still available, I might try and get my hands on one. I don't know that I would play it all that much. I would mostly want it just as a collector's item because I am a Zelda fan. But I'd be interested to see the differences between the Japanese and the US versions because I've never played the Japanese version before.
It'd be fun to have, but it's kind of like the Super Mario Brothers one. I almost bought the Super Mario Brothers one not too long ago because they had a couple of copies at Walmart. But it's like it's $50 for something that I already have multiple versions of it. And
yeah,
am I really going to play this? Probably not. So it's kind of like $50 for a paperweight pretty much. So I can't really justify the purchase.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand that. And if this weren't Zelda, I wouldn't. And I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I'm leaning towards getting one, even if I don't get it day one. Eventually, I would like to get it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Let's see. Our next story comes to us from Gizmodo.com. Incredible mod turns the Game Boy Advance into a mini Switch with Joy-Con and dock support. This is actually really cool. Mm-hmm. Modding the 18-year-old Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP with upgrades like a better screen and bigger battery is relatively painless. But modding it so that it functions as a dedicated 16-bit Switch with Joy-Con and TV out support, that's a monumental challenge that Macho Nacho Productions somehow made look easy. And there's a video that's embedded onto the article that shows them playing Metroid Fusion with the Joy-Cons. And it looks, it's Metroid Zero Mission that they're playing, not Fusion, but it does look very much like Fusion. But it looks absolutely incredible. And I would have never thought that this would be like impossible. No, but it was something that I didn't think would actually happen. And there's on the thumbnail on the main YouTube video, you can see a great picture of the Joy-Cons actually attached to the side of the Game Boy. It looks really cool.
And it's the only way you'll get to play Metroid Zero Mission because Nintendo refuses to reissue that game on any platform other than the Game Boy Advance.
I mean, you would think that they would put Game Boy games out on the online store by now, but
if they would have done Game Boy games, I would have been more likely to get the expansion pack. I would have gotten the expansion pack if they would have done a Game Boy library. Not just Game Boy, but Game Boy Advance, Game Boy 3DS, all those systems. If you would have put up, 10 games each from each system, boom, you'd have got my $50 right there a year.
Yeah. Yeah, but like right now, I just can't justify it. That and with all the bugs that have been happening with it.
Yeah, I can't.
I just can't.
That lag. That lag is ridiculous.
I just can't justify it.
And you've seen the videos of the lag, right? Oh my.
Oh yeah.
Like, how are you so bad at emulation, Nintendo? These are your games. Like, why not hire people that emulate, like run emulation sites instead of suing them? How about hire them? How about that, Nintendo?
Exactly.
Another thing for Wally to pick on me about.
I'm sure he'll say something.
This next story comes from xdadevelopers.com. Netflix games begins to roll out worldwide. Netflix announced back in July that it was testing a game streaming feature alongside its usual streaming catalog of movies and TV shows. The first games went live in August, but they were limited to Poland and a few other countries at first. Now the company is ready for a global rollout, but game and platform availability is still limited. Let's see. Starting today, members everywhere can play 5 mobile games. Stranger Things 1984, Stranger Things 3 The Game, Shooting Hoops, Card Blast, and Teeter Up. Netflix said in a blog post, whether you're craving a casual game you can start from scratch or an immersive experience that lets you dig deeper into your favorite stories, we want to begin to build a library of games that offer something for everyone. And another thing I know, I was listening to a podcast called DTNS, Daily Tech News Show. They were talking about, it's actually already been rolled out to Android users, and it's now available on iOS as of today or yesterday. But the thing is, when you go to your Netflix app and you open up one of the games, it opens the game in a separate app on your phone. And people are kind of in a tizzy about that, and I don't really get why that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really either. I mean, it's an extra step, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I don't know if I'll ever try any of these out. Like, I'm interested in the Stranger Things games.
Me too. That sounds like the only thing I would even remotely be interested in playing, but like, I'm not a mobile gamer. I don't want to play on my phone.
I'm not really either. I mean, I have a few games on my phone, like, but they're not like video game type of games. Like, I know there was a Mario mobile game, and I tried that out for a bit, but it kind of the bloom came off the rose pretty quickly on that one.
Yeah.
But I have a few that I'll go to every now and then. But I mean, I really just use my phone to check email, look on social, post things, and that's really about it.
I don't think I have a single game on my phone. I think the last game I had was there was a really popular game with the little dudes that looked like Hulk Hogan. It was almost like a tower defense type of game. Now I can't remember the name of it. Everybody was playing it for a little while, and this was like 2015 or 16 probably. And then
I'm trying to think. I can't remember that.
The only other game I think I had was Angry Birds. So I think I've had 2 mobile games my entire life.
My favorite mobile game I have, Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, I did have Words with Friends. Yeah, Words with Friends.
Yeah, Words with Friends. Yeah, I got into that one.
I forgot about that one. That was fun.
I wonder whatever happened to Words with Friends.
I don't know. I mean, they probably got sued by Scrabble. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe,
because like it's pretty much exactly Scrabble. So
yeah, it is. Let's see. Our next story is from NintendoEverything.com. RP Golf Legends official English trailer has been released. Kimco and ArcticNet have shared a new English translation of the announcement trailer for RP Golf Legends, a direct sequel to RPG golf hybrid game RP Golf. No official release date has been announced, but the game is scheduled to arrive sometime in 2022. And to give a quick premise of the game, an evil force has sealed all the golf holes in the world. Join forces with the spirit of a golf club and embark on a fantastic action golfing adventure to save golf in the world. How did they not just throw money at Tiger Woods?
I know.
To do this. I would have loved to have played as Tiger Woods and saved the world.
I'm not a big golf fan. I think I liked playing the black box golf for NES, and I think that's the maybe what was the one with Mario, the NES Open? I think it was called.
Yeah, there is a Mario golf game. Or are you talking about for the NES?
Yeah, it was for the NES. I think it was called NES Open, and it had Mario on the cover playing golf, and that was the last time I played golf.
Yeah, I know what game you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's called NES Open, if I'm not mistaken.
Playing golf on Wii Sports was amazing.
I played bowling. I never played golf.
Oh, golf was fun. Golf and baseball were my 2 favorites.
Huh.
But I mean, to be honest, like, I'm not surprised that a game like this exists.
Right.
I'm tempted to try it if I could, if there was like a demo of it. but I don't know if it would be something I'd want to go all in and buy.
Well, it's a whole genre of RPG like sports games. Like this actual golf thing started a few years ago. I remember hearing about a game called Golf Story, and it was like a
Hmm.
RPG story golf game. And I was like, that's weird. And then you see games like this start to pop up. So like, how do you mash an RPG with a golf game? Like, that's like peanut butter and ketchup. It just doesn't go together.
I can't wait for the RPG curling game.
Yeah, I'll play some curling.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing to watch in the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, how did curling get to be an Olympic sport? It's like something you play in the freezer when you're bored with your buddies at work, when you're working at like Pizza Hut or something.
But it's so great to watch because it's so suspenseful.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to be able to shave the ice just enough to where they can land on the target?
Does that help? Like brushing the ice or whatever. How does it make the stone go faster? If anything, it seems to me like it would make it go slower because you're making the ice rough.
I have no idea, but I love watching it.
All it is what is that cruise ship game that old people play?
Shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard. It's just shuffleboard on ice is all it
And
is.
that was the first thing I thought of when I watched curling for the first
Yeah.
time several years ago.
Except you're
It was
throwing
like,
100-pound stone down the ice.
yeah, it was. I think it was 2 Winter Olympics ago that I was introduced to curling, and since then, every time the Winter Olympics is on, I have to check to see if curling's on.
I guess the Canadians had to come up with something since they're like constantly engulfed in ice and snow.
True, very true.
For this last story, I just heard about this today, and this is so weird. Kotaku.com, Metal Gear Solid games are being removed over historical footage. Konami just announced that both Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 are being taken down from online shop fronts after issues emerged with licenses for select historical archive footage used in the game. The full statement reads, "Thank you for playing the Metal Gear series. We are currently working on renewing the licenses for select historical archive footage used in-game. Therefore, we have made it the temporary decision to begin suspending the sale of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 and all products that include these games from digital storefronts globally starting November 8th, 2021. We ask for your patience and understanding as we work towards making these products available for purchase once again." I have never played these games, the Metal Gear Solid games, but when it comes to historical footage, I mean, how is that, like, who owns historical footage? I would think that would be like a public domain type of thing.
Yeah, I guess it depends on when the footage was filmed because I think it has to be in existence for a certain period of time before it becomes public domain. But yeah, this is very bizarre because I feel like all that should have been taken care of before, or maybe they only had the rights to us like up until now.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe they, at the time, these two games, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, when did those two come out?
Let's see.
We could look that up real quick. Metal Gear Solid 2. Because
2001.
yeah, I'm thinking maybe they didn't do anything like in perpetuity because let's face it, nobody knew that video games were going to have the life that they've had. Like people literally thought games in the 80s and 90s were for kids and it was going to be a passing fad. So it's possible that they were thinking, like who could have foreseen like the internet and being able to emulate these games later on. Maybe they were thinking like, well, they're going to be on these systems and then they'll just be forgotten in a few years, and nobody's going to continue to play these games, which is understandable because who would have really thought back then that, oh, these games are going to be, treasured games for years and years. I mean, I don't blame them, but at the same time, it's just weird to me that historical footage is owned by someone.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's either that or they only own the rights through a certain period of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just something that went by the wayside or what the deal is, but it's just so bizarre. Like I have no idea what the footage is. I've never
Me
played these
neither.
games. I don't know if they're close to being public domain or really what the legal reasoning is. I mean, other than it's just been removed.
Well, it said here, for example, the kind of videos are some Cold War footage from Metal Gear 3 cutscene. So Cold War footage, I mean, you're talking about like the 50s through the 80s. So depending on when that footage was or what the footage is, like that's just, I don't know, that's just weird to me. It seems like news footage. Like is news footage copyrighted to someone or an entity? Like I'm so ignorant of the subject.
Yeah, I just wonder what they're gonna do. Are they gonna just try and get the rights back? Or are they gonna have to put in new footage?
Maybe,
Who knows? It
or that's a lot
sounds a
of
little
work to
messy.
have to go back and put something new in or take it out, or maybe they'll use game engine to reenact the footage or something like that. But like I said, that's a lot of money to put into that to do something like that. I mean, if
Yeah,
anything, if they can't redo the rights like for to be in perpetuity, I mean, all I could see is them just yanking it out and not having it in there because that would make the most business sense.
yeah. It reminds me of back when I used to collect WWE shows on DVD. If they didn't have the rights to certain songs on the DVD, they would
Yeah.
replace like entrance music with just generic sounding crap.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing with like the TV show Scrubs. They had so much music in that show that the only way to hear really the original music that was in the show is to get the DVD sets. If you watch it on like Hulu now, a lot of the music's been changed to like something generic or something that kind of sounds similar but is like made by some generic band, like royalty free stuff. And it's like the subtitles will still have the lyrics from the original song. And it's like, wait, that's not what's playing. And it's
Which
weird.
which is a shame because music was such an important ingredient in that show.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm always on the lookout for a DVD set of that show. And I tend to find them every once in a while, like at flea markets and stuff. I've got like random seasons, like 1, 2, 4, and 6 or something like that. But yeah, I love that show. And if you want to watch the way it was intended to be, you have to watch the original DVD of it because if you watch it on Hulu, it's not the same. Like at least once an episode, there's a song in there that they either had the rights in perpetuity and they were able to keep it in, or they only had the original broadcast rights. And because nobody was thinking about streaming, and that's another example. Scrubs came out, and the first season was in 2001. Nobody was thinking about streaming then. Like streaming wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Like if you'd said the word streaming, I mean the only thing that you streamed was pee.
Yeah.
I mean that's it. There was no streaming online back then. We were still practically in dial-up days back then.
Simpler times.
Yeah. LAN parties, baby.
Yeah.
LAN parties.
Thems were simpler times.
But let's move into this month in video game history. In November of 1991, Nintendo releases Metroid 2 Return of Samus for the Game Boy in North America. One of your favorite titles, I believe.
For the Metroid, yep, I think it's the most underrated Metroid game. I've said it ad nauseum. I think because it was on the Game Boy, it didn't get the love that the original Metroid or Super Metroid got. But really, really solid installment of the Metroid franchise. And crazy to think that it's 30 years old now.
Yeah. We're old,
But
man.
yeah, I said it before and I'll say it again. If you've never played Metroid 2 Return of Samus, definitely track it down. If you're a Game Boy collector, definitely worth the ad in your collection. You won't regret it. And especially if you like Metroid, you'll love Metroid 2 Return of Samus.
Yeah, I still want to play it. I've never played this game, and I'm so jealous that you get to play it and I don't.
One day.
One day.
One day. On November 21st, 1992, Sega publishes Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Mega Drive/Genesis. The game introduces Sonic's sidekick, Miles Tails Prower, and Sonic's supersonic transformation. And it's kind of ironic because the new movie will be coming out on the 30-year anniversary of this game, which the new movie will also incorporate Tails. I mean, we saw him at the end of the first one, but he'll be formally introduced in this one. And who knows, maybe we'll get a supersonic tease.
Maybe. Hopefully.
But Sonic, go ahead.
I said, hopefully that movie is as good as the first one. At least I hope so.
I think it has the chance to be better because with the success of the first one, I hope they got a little more money and that it'll be a little more accurate to the games as opposed to not the original story was fine for the first movie, but now with Tails coming in and Knuckles coming in, the Chaos Emeralds coming in, I hope we see more game accurate depiction.
Well, now that we've established that universe and the absurdity of it and we're okay with it, just go all out.
I just can't wait to see Jim Carrey back.
I know.
Like going as full on insane Robotnik is going to be great.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie quite a bit. But as far as the game goes, it's the best Sonic game ever made. It's one of those games I would put up there with Link to the Past as being a perfect game.
That's high praise.
Yeah, it is the Link to the Past of that franchise.
Wow.
Easily.
Let's see Wally say something about that. November 21st, 1994, Rare releases Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. The first in the Donkey Kong Country series features 3D pre-rendered graphics, also introduces Diddy Kong and King K. Rool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this, that it's probably one of the top 5 best looking games for the Super Nintendo. It still holds up to this day. Like, those graphics are so far beyond what they were doing at the time. I mean, as beautiful as like Link to the Past is, Super Mario World, like, man, Donkey Kong Country was just crazy good looking for a game.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those that now we're years past that game being out. I think we appreciate it more now than we did back then, because when I went through that run of the Super Nintendo when I was a kid, you know, I loved Donkey Kong Country, but when it came to the look of games, I preferred the Mario World style, the Link to the Past style. But now that I'm older, I go back and look at that Donkey Kong Country trilogy, and there, as you said, some of the best good looking games on that entire system, because it's so different than a lot of the other games look. Like, a lot of games had that traditional animated style. Donkey Kong Country did not, and that made it stand out, in my opinion. And I think that look is timeless.
Yeah, I mean, it looked 3D. It wasn't, but it looked 3D. I mean, I don't know. It's just, you go back and look at that, like, how the hell did they do this on the Super Nintendo?
I would like to see a full, like, making of this game. I mean, they released the VHS way back in the day, kind of previewing it.
Yeah.
But I would love to see like a full on, like, in-depth look at the making of this game and how they created those graphics, because they were ahead of their time.
Oh yeah. Good evening, Armez Jackson, for joining us in the chat room.
Shout out to Armez Jackson. And finally, November 5th, 1995, Single Track releases Twisted Metal for the PlayStation, which I believe is the longest running franchise in the history of the PlayStation.
Which I'm wondering why Twisted Metal has not been turned into a because, you know, what do they call them? The battle or arena games.
Yeah.
Why has that not been turned into a Fortnite style battle arena game?
A battle royale is the term
Yeah,
I'm
battle
thinking of. Yeah,
royale, not battle
yeah,
arena, battle royale.
yeah. I don't know. Like it would be very interesting because I think it would be the perfect game to try that out with.
That would be so fun against 100 people in
God,
Twisted
against 100
Metal.
sweet tooths.
That's all everybody would be. You have to you have to actually like unlock Sweet Tooth after like a certain
Yeah.
something.
Have we reviewed Twisted Metal?
No, we haven't. We need to.
Yeah, we do. It's funny because we've been doing this show now 250 episodes, but there's still some good games out there that we haven't reviewed at all.
I know. We'll be here till we're old men and still not cover like a quarter of the games there are to play.
I'm hoping that we'll be doing the show so long that I'm basically either going to be one doing it from an iron lung or I'm going to get the Futurama approach and I'm just going to have my head floating in a container of water and just stick a microphone in it and I'll talk for an hour.
That's how we'll both be.
Yeah. That would be fun.
But that brings us to the end of this month of video game history. Before we go into the review tonight, we like to do shout outs. And those are our lovely patrons over at our Patreon, at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And Derek is going to do some shout outs.
Yes, as always, we like to shout out Axblade07, Daniel Salmon, Armez Jackson, Hand Solo, Carlos Longoria, Staff Sergeant Sketch, Brandon Rutledge, Gus and Penny, Matthew Salmon, Joey Image, Ron Johnson, Mixmaster, and the co-founder of B-Res Coffee himself, Mr. Mike Eveland. Thank you all so much for your continued contributions to the show. And if you want to be a part of our awesome Patreon community, you get exclusive access to our fun commentary tracks like Clue, Super Mario Brothers. I know there's a poll up right now for some cool Thanksgiving and November themed movies.
I haven't looked at the poll, but I can guarantee you I know who's winning without even looking at it.
You never know until you look. I already have my pick for December, but that's a discussion for another time. But it's a Christmas movie without being a Christmas movie. But it's not.
Yes.
It's not Die Hard. It's not Die Hard. But yeah, if you want access to those, if you want to be able to vote on what we do commentary tracks for, show topics, we'll post polls for you guys to vote on our reviews. It's a fun community to be a part of. So if you want to be a part of that, just head on over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And new patrons, be sure to send us your social media, whether that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, email, so we can give you a proper shout out.
And tonight, Derek is going to be talking about... I can already tell you this game's going to suck because I don't like the music.
So I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to another exciting episode of the... No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so it was brought up last week that it's been a bit since I've reviewed a bad game. And this came up on This Month in Video Game History, and I had no clue what I was going to review. So I'm like, you know what? I'll review this. And this is Sonic R, a 1997 racing video game developed by Traveler's Tales and Sonic Team for the Sega Saturn. It's the third racing game in the Sonic the Hedgehog series and the first to feature 3D computer graphics. So let me tell you my backstory in being introduced to this game, because as you all know, I'm a fan of the Sonic franchise. And when I was a kid, if Sonic the Hedgehog was involved with it, I wanted to be a part of it, whether it was games, comics, cartoons, you name it. And I got this not for the Saturn, because I never owned a Saturn, but this game was also available for Windows. I got this along with Sonic CD, and I thought to myself, and I'd never heard of Sonic R before, but I'm like, oh, it's a racing game with Sonic. That's cool, because, you know, Mario Kart was all the rage by that point. Everyone loved that game. So I was like, oh, it'll be like a version of Mario Kart with Sonic characters. That is not the case. So we have talked in the past about that generation of 3D console with the N64 and the PlayStation where the graphics don't really look all that great. We don't talk about the Sega Saturn and how it went into the 3D world of graphics. They did that with this game, and boy, does it not age well. Because I played this game, so it's part of the Sonic Gems collection, which was released for the GameCube and the PS2. Apart from the Sonic Mega Collection, the Mega Collection had your traditional games like Sonic 1, 2, and 3. The Gems collection had Sonic R, Sonic the Fighters, like the lesser known Sonic games. The objective of this game is pretty simple. You can choose your character and you race each other by running through these various levels. And first of all, from a logistical standpoint, if all your characters are running, shouldn't Sonic be able to win in like a second and a half?
Yeah, you'd think so.
But no, Sonic's he's the fastest character, but it's not by a very far margin. So you can choose either Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, I believe. Robotnik flies in his egg pod. And yeah, you run through various levels to try and win.
Yeah, I'm looking at the some gameplay right now on YouTube. Oh my god, the environment is not terrible. It's not great, but Sonic looks so stupid.
Oh, they all look stupid. Oh, and you play as Amy Rose as well. She's the fifth character. The controls to this game are awful. Everyone moves very stiff and rigid. It's next to impossible to turn. It's just bad. It's a very bad game.
This is like I can't stop looking at Sonic, like his actual character model. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
It's like a car accident. You don't want to look, but you can't help it.
I can't not look at it. It's awful.
Yeah, the character designs are bad. The racetracks aren't, as you said, they're not terrible. Like the graphics wise, they're not great, but layout wise, they're okay. Not good, not bad.
Okay, so there's a race I'm looking at here. You got Sonic, which is the character this person's using, and he's up against another Sonic-looking character, and I couldn't quite tell who it was.
It might be Amy,
but it was another blue Hedgehog-looking character. I'm not sure, but
probably Metal Sonic.
His legs didn't move. He started moving, but he was like stiff, like his legs weren't moving.
So you can unlock other characters. You can unlock Robotnik. You can unlock Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, and also the Tails doll, which is like a popular like inside joke character in the Sonic universe. It's literally like a plush Tails that just kind of floats there. But another thing you can do, and that's in addition to all the bad controls and everything, you collect the Chaos Emeralds as well, because you have to find them and they're hidden throughout the different tracks, and you have to win in order to get it. And once you get all 7 emeralds, then you can unlock Super Sonic, and he's like obnoxiously fast. Like there's no way you will lose if you have Super Sonic. Like he's borderline broken. But
okay, yeah, it is Metal Sonic, and because he's playing him now, and when he moves, like it just looks like he's dragging his feet on the ground.
Yeah, it's basically to create the illusion that he's like using his booster on his back.
Okay, I can't
to run.
I gotta turn this off because this is like watching a train wreck. I can't.
Yeah, and you mentioned the music earlier, and I've praised the Sonic music a lot, and rightfully so, but credit to them, I guess, for having full vocalized tracks for every course, but they're not very good.
No one wants vocals in their video game music. I'm sorry. Nobody wants it.
I'm convinced that these songs will probably be played at my funeral. It's just, I don't know. Like, I didn't entirely hate this game when I was a kid, but I played it a few years ago and just realized like how truly bad it is. And in going back and playing it leading up to this, it hurts to say because I like to defend the Sonic games. I am a Sonic apologist, especially when it comes to the more modern games. But this game I can't defend. It's
Well,
just
it's kind of the same reason why I don't review very many Nintendo 64 games or even want to review like original PlayStation, OG PlayStation games, because this era of gaming is visually horrifying. It's
yeah,
not good to go back and look at.
yeah. And a little bit more backstory on this game. So, Traveler's Tales actually developed the game. They developed Sonic 3D Blast in '96, and after that game, which that game was not that great either, but that's a story for another time. Sega approached Traveler's Tales about working on another one, uh, this being a racing game. So, Traveler's Tales is one of the few third party developers that have made a Sonic game because it's usually Sega handles it internally or with Sonic Team. So I thought that was kind of interesting,
Hmm.
but I don't know. Like, there's really nothing more I can really say about it other than I had a really horrible experience going back and playing it because it's just, there's not really anything that's redeemable about it. Like, I know there are new Sega racing games where everyone's in a car, and I know that we're supposed to have like, realism isn't much of a thing in these games sometimes, but as a Sonic fan, I can't play a game like this and not think, okay, well, Sonic, if he's running, he should just be able to win
Yeah. That's
very
the
easily.
problem with trying to turn Sonic into a racing game because he's already faster than any vehicle you could possibly put him in.
Yeah.
So why bother? Like he's going to defeat everybody else in the game in a foot race.
Yeah, so you'd have to do it where everyone drives a car
Yeah.
to give everybody a fair shot.
And why would you put Sonic in a car?
Exactly. But this game is no Mario Kart. I will say that. And the Saturn version of Sonic R received mixed reviews from critics at the time of its release, although retrospective commentary has been more negative. It received an aggregate score of 69% from Game Rankings based on 6 reviews, and the PC version received 70% based on 2. Get this, the game's visuals were considered its strongest feature. What were they drinking when they wrote that?
Well, I mean, this was 97, so it probably did look pretty good for 97, honestly.
True, but definitely the retrospective commentary I agree with. But some of these scores, Electronic Gaming Monthly gave it an 8 out of 10. Game Informer gave it a 7.5. Next Generation gave it a 3 out of 5. I think I'm with you on that. I think it's because of how games were in '97, why they're ranked so highly. Like ranking it now,
Hmm.
it's it's much lower than that to me. Like I would
Yeah.
give it. See, I can't give a game a 0. Like I have to give at least a 1 for effort. But this game I would probably give a 3.
Yeah.
And I'd say 3 because I don't hate the level design. I didn't hate the concept of it, but it just seemed like a game that they kind of half-assed threw together and thought, "Oh, it's a Sonic game, it'll sell."
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's a kind of a short review, but it's pretty cut and dry. Like that, this is
Yeah.
just not. It is not a good game at all.
Well, it's that era. It's that late '90s era of just bad polygonal graphics. They Why were they putting vocals into soundtracks? Like, who wanted that? Nobody asked for that. Why would you do that?
I have no idea, but it's it is definitely a black eye on the Sonic franchise to me. And there are other bad Sonic games too. Like I mentioned, Sonic 3D Blast. That's a game that I do not like at all. Eventually, I'll review it as well. But
Well, Sonic just
there,
doesn't translate to 3D as well as Mario did.
no, I don't dislike the adventure games. I have fun playing those more for the story aspect than the actual gameplay. But yeah, Sonic definitely his strength is in the 2D world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where he needs to stay.
Yeah.
Unless somebody comes along with a really good idea to bring Sonic into a 3D world.
Supposedly, there's going to be an open world Sonic game that's going to be released next year. And I'm very interested to see what they do with that.
I'm interested, but I'm not holding my breath.
I don't have very high expectations, but I hope it's good. But we'll see. But that's my thoughts on Sonic R. Do not waste your time in playing it. If you ever listen to me for anything, do not play Sonic R.
Especially if you're a Sonic fan, don't taint your love for
Yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go play Sonic 2 for like a solid 6 hours to cleanse myself.
Yeah. Well, as far as next week goes, it's our 250th episode, and I still don't know what I'm gonna review next week. So I got a lot I got to get to. I still have to finish Kingdom Hearts on the PS2. I've been playing Vice Project Doom on the NES store on the Switch. What else was I playing? I've been playing a lot of stuff, but not really diving in, full force into something. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing over this next week, and then I'll figure it out by this weekend what I'm gonna review.
It'll be fun. It's crazy to think we're at 250 episodes.
I know.
It's nuts. The next year will be the big 300.
300, and then what are we gonna do for 300? Because it's gonna be here before you know it. It feels like we just did 200.
See, I know we did Chrono Trigger for 200. I'll have to think on it. Like that, as I mentioned earlier, there's still quite a few big games that we haven't reviewed yet.
Yeah, I might put up a Patreon poll and see what people think I should review.
Yeah, that's great. Let the Patreon subscribers decide.
Yeah, because I don't know what I want to review. Like I said, I've just been kind of blithely playing a few things here and there, and I really need to get back to Kingdom Hearts and finish that. That's going to be the big one, that'll probably be my Christmas review is Kingdom Hearts.
That's a good one. I like Kingdom Hearts a lot.
But I think that's gonna just about do it for this week. So what you got coming up on the Derek Diamond experience?
So the farewell tour continues, and for this week, I'm re-releasing what turned out to be the most downloaded episode in the history of my show, and that is my interview with Jason David Frank, also known as the original Green Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Did that interview back in, believe it or not, 2017, so almost 5 years ago, leading up to Pensacon that year. And I also tell kind of the backstory of how it blew my mind as to how like quickly that show became the most popular one I'd ever done as far as numbers go.
Yeah.
But it's fun to go back and listen to. Yeah. So that'll be out this week.
I don't know what happened with us, but all of a sudden we went for like crazy amounts of downloads over the last, I guess this last month. Like, dude, our numbers have been going crazy. So I don't know what you guys are doing out there, but thank you for, especially our backlog. People are going back all the way to, the first episode. It's crazy. People are just listening to the show. As new people that are just trying to catch up from the beginning. I'm like, man, you got a long way to go to get to
Well,
the current episodes.
You probably have some that are going back and looking for specific games, and when they see, oh, this is when they talked about Link to the
Yeah.
Past or they talked about Ninja Turtles. So, hey, a download's a download. So,
Yeah, I
no,
like
thank
it.
you so much.
But we just talked to Mo Anderson, comedian Mo Alexander on the Open Micers podcast. He's going to be at the Juke Joint in Ocean Springs here on the Gulf Coast. And he's going to be in Daytona. He's on tour right now, so he's all over the place. He'll be in Mobile, Alabama, somewhere I think Savannah, Georgia, I think he said. But yeah, you can go to moalexander.net, look up his tour dates, buy his merch. But go listen to that episode. I'm going to be releasing that tonight, too, at Open Micers on Twitter, Instagram, and ompodcast.com takes you to our Patreon over there if you want to support us over there, too. You don't have to, but definitely support us here at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. But I think that's going to do it for this week. Is that it? That's it.
I forgot to mention, if you want to follow the Derek Diamond Experience at D Diamond Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if you want to follow my new show that'll launch in January, Feature Presentation, it's at Feature Pres Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and play our music here. If you want to email us all those cool stories at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. We are at nerdcaveretro.com. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdcaveretro, Instagram and Twitter at nerdcaveretro, and individually at jfunktastic and at Derek_Diamond. Go buy our merch. We have a new Thanksgiving shirt. Thanksgiving, the Revenge. Go get a t-shirt that you can wear to Thanksgiving dinner over at ncrmerch.com. And of course our Patreon, patreon.com/nerdcaveretro, where as little as $1 a month helps us keep the lights on here at the show. And if you can't do that, I get it, times are tough. Leave us a review wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. So Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
Yes.
Monkey.
And that was a good episode.
It was.
Ooh, well,
My review was kind of short, but I mean,
Oh,
it was
that's
pretty
okay.
cut and dry. It's just the game sucked.
well, we went a little long last week, so.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.